Sup YouTube, this is Dragon, and I got another match here with my opponent, Takuto. Yes, that is the Japanese hiragana pronunciation for the ones that don't know about that. And, hey, you just have to see this, it's an amazing battle, and let's get straight to it. Now, I had a good brief look at his team, and I knew that Blaziken could pretty much destroy almost everything besides his Tentacruel. And of course, he predicts that I would send out my Blaziken, and rightfully so sends out his Tentacruel. So, I know that he's going to either do Surf or Toxic Spikes, and he does exactly that. He sets out a layer of Toxic Spikes. Now, this kind of worries me a bit because a lot of my Pokemon are grounded, and I don't want my Pokemon to be dying with a lot of poison. So, he knows I'm going to Spore him, but he still lays out another layer of Toxic Spikes. I'm not really sure why, because I do have a Moongus on this team, because he would come back out later on and absorb the Toxic Spikes. And at this point, I know that I have to switch because, well, I don't want to get destroyed, or I know he's going to switch into another Pokemon at that point because I obviously put him to sleep. So I send in a good safe switch, and I switch into my Aphorism, and he switches into his Blaziken. He Blaze Kicks me because he, well, just did the obvious play because you don't know what your opponent's going to do. And he does something a little bit shocking. One, he has a Life Orb on his Blaziken, which isn't really too shocking because it is a Blaziken. But on top of that, he let his Blaziken die. And now I see why he probably let his Blaziken die, because he switched into this Pokemon. And I didn't know what he was going to do, but I was hoping that he did a Psychic attack because I didn't want to die. So I see that this is his Mega Evolution Pokemon, and it's Mega Gardevoir. And now he Moonblasts me, and I'm a little bit upset now because now I know I'm going to die. And I was going to U-turn him, and it would have been great, but that's not going to happen anymore because I'm dead. So I have no choice, and I have to send in my Moongus to absorb the Toxic Spikes. And I know that an attack is going to be inevitable. So I absorb this next Moonblast, and this is a max specially defensive Clefable, so I'm able to absorb that pretty well. And now I know that he may or may not stay in, and he does exactly kind of what I predicted, and he switched into his Chansey. So now I Toxic the incoming Chansey, and at this point I don't really know what he's going to do. It could be a Heal Bell, Chansey, I'm not really sure, but let's see, what does he do after this? I don't remember. Okay, yeah, so I know that I can't do anything to this because I am, just a Clefable. So, yes, I predicted him to either use Thunder Wave or Toxic or some sort of status inhibiting move. So I switch into my Gliscor because, well, he can't really do anything. So I know that he's going to switch at this point because, well, he can't do anything unless he has Ice Beam, and if he does have Ice Beam, then he would have only Ice Beamed my Blaziken, so he has to switch, and he did switch just like he did, and now I'm at my Blaziken, and I do something a little bit stupid, and you'll see what I do. So I Protect so that I could just, at the very least, Mega Evolve, and he Thunder Waves me, and I'm like, oh, whatever, it doesn't matter to me. At this point, I should have just switched, and I thought, I really don't understand why I thought this, but I felt that Flare Blitz would have been able to kill it, but obviously I was wrong, and it only got it down to 25% of its health, and he Thunder Waves me, and heck, even if this Pokemon is obviously max defense, bold, everything, and even if look, all these speed boosts, it doesn't matter. Once you're paralyzed, it's pretty much over. So he Air Slashes my Blaziken, and my Blaziken it just bites the dust. I mean, it's gone. It's gone forever. So he switches into I switch into my Gliscor, and then he switches back into his Chansey. And I knew that he doesn't really know if I have the Earthquake or not, so I just use Toxic instead of Earthquake to not be predictable. And this is exactly why I did that, because I didn't know what he was going to really do, but I knew he was going to predict me to use the Toxic again. So he switched into his Clef Keys, and then I predicted him to switch into that to kind of fill me out, and he did exactly what I wanted him to do. So now he is in a very debilitating situation. But now I'm in a very debilitating situation because he swaggered me, and ironically that kind of sealed the deal for him, because that swagger really made a difference, because as you can see right now, I snap out of confusion and I'm able to Ice Fang this Togekiss, and oh my goodness, like, Togekiss is dead, the Clef Key is dead, two Pokemon I was kind of really iffy about are gone. Now he uses Moonblast. Now I know that I could live at least one, even from a max special attack nature, because I mean Gliscor is a freaking boss. So +2 Earthquake kills the Mega Gardevoir. Now I'm looking really, really good. So he sends out his Chansey again, and I know that he's gonna do something. I'm predicting that it might be Ice Beam, but then he does Seismic Toss. Now at this point, I didn't know that Chansey pre-Pokebank could get Seismic Toss. I was completely astonished. It really, this battle right here motivated me to create my own Blissey. So he uses Soft Boiled and predicts me to use my Protect. Very, very good play on his part. And I can't stay in because the next Seismic Toss will kill me. So I send in my Quagsire. And he uses, of course, Seismic Toss, which would have killed my Gliscor, which I feel would have sealed my fate because my Gliscor has to be able to kill that Tentacruel that's asleep. Otherwise, there's no way I would be able to win this battle. I mean, really. And there's also a little bit of a mind game that I played within the whole aspect of me needing to kill his Tentacruel, which you'll see later. So I use Protect to get a little bit more of my health back. He uses another Seismic Toss and can't do anything. And I saw that he used Minimize, so I was like, okay. So thanks to the 6th gen mechanics, whenever a Pokemon uses Toxic and it's a Poison type, it has a 100% chance to hit. So he could use 6 Minimizes and Sand Attack me 6 times. I could use Toxic and it will hit 100% of the time. So now that his Chansey is Toxic, it's just gonna sit there and die eventually, so he could use Minimize all he wants at this point. And I know that he's gonna switch. Oh my goodness, he has to switch at this point. So I well, not really double, but I predict the switch and I go into my Aphorism. And now at this point, I was kind of, I was hoping that he didn't switch into any other Pokemon. I was hoping that he just kind of gave up hope. And yes, this is the subtle mind game that I was talking about, because he began to lose the will to fight further. So if he would have switched into some other Pokemon, and well, actually I don't really know. I think this is kind of a bit of a checkmate moment in the match. But anyway, so 2 Earthquakes allows me to kill that sleeping Tentacruel. That Tentacruel, if it woke up, honestly, if it had even Surf in the Ice Beam, I think that would have been it. I probably would have been completely decimated by just that one Pokemon. So now this Chansey just uses Toxic on me, kind of in a manner of giving up, because, well, I mean, that's pretty much it. So he runs away and the battle is over. That was a great battle by Takuto, gotta say. He had some really good Pokemon, some really good strategy, and I loved every minute of it. Well, stay tuned, because there will be more Pokemon X and Y Wi-Fi battles. Well, see ya.